I got a little story to tell. Oh man, it's gonna be. Oh, oh, oh. Okay. It's gonna be a heavy motherfucker, and it don't have no thing on it. See that? See that? I feel like I'm carrying two babies in one. I don't know how my father did it, but my father did it. Me and my sister, we both weighed about more than 2 digits. I'm a little bit discombobulated. What's up, y'all? Just coming in. I'm talking about an incident that happened with a gentleman that waved me off when I was going to ask him a question. And a couple days passed, and now today he's asking me, not even in a respectful, kind manner. He's asking me in a disrespectful manner about something that happened to his car. Someone breaking into his car. I get my receipt. Oh, it's with the bananas. Yeah, it's with the bananas. Have a great day. But I always say, when you're a good person, right now is when good things are gonna happen to good people. I'm not saying bad things are gonna happen to bad people, because I had to learn about my energy and how when you call judgment, or when you call for something to happen, you got to pay for that too. All magic comes with a price, right? Not saying you can't see something and say something, but when you're the one that's calling it, right? Like when you're the one that's literally saying what you want happen to somebody, or what you want happen done, you're gonna have to pay for that in a way where, if you're not pure, it might charge you a person, right? You want to get, the Bible says eye for an eye. Some things in the Bible is you know is fairy tale because it was written in the non-fictional section, non-fiction section. It was published in the non-fiction section. I mean, in the fiction section. I'm saying non-fiction. It was published in the fictional section. But a lot of things in it, like, and you know how they say there's truth in jest.
We're in sensory friendly hours
There's a lot of truth
until
in there
10
too.
this morning. That means softer
But
lights, calmer sounds, and a little extra breathing room while
if you're a good person and you're not out here doing bad shit under a guise of being a good person, and you're literally just being a good person, it's gonna be there's gonna be some weird tests happening where, you know, are you gonna give way to people that's not kind to you, or to people that have done bad, do bad, or continuously do people bad? Or are you gonna just speak your truth and keep going on your way? You don't have to give no answer. You don't have to give no advice. You don't have to give no aid, no nothing. Because you don't owe nobody nothing, right? Oh my God, this feels so much better. Why the fuck I didn't do this fucking months ago? Throw the bag over my shoulder like this. Like I'm Santa Claus. It's gonna be hard on the bicep. Especially if you did some bicep curls, you don't never wanna lock your arm like this. Especially after working out, you will catch the illest cramp. You will catch the cramp of the century. But if you're a good person, and this helps me think a lot clearer, because I'm not struggling with this big ass, heavy ass tutipong thing in my hand. So if you're a good person, continue being a good person, because the tests that's gonna come up ain't gonna be tests that it's not gonna be a test that you expect, but it's gonna be something that pulls you along the lines of giving way to unjust voices, giving way to unjust people, right? I was talking about the other day when I was walking. I wasn't even walking. I saw a brother, and I went up to him to ask him a question. And I went humbly and respectfully as fuck. But the dude waved me off. So I said, cool. I didn't even step closer to his car. I turned around and went about my business. Now a couple days later, I'm coming out of where I'm at, where I was at. When I'm coming out of the office, I'm not fucking trying to beat around the bush. I'm coming out the office. He's sitting in his car. Obviously, I saw him sitting in his car before I went into the office. But as I come out the office, he like, yo, and then he started asking me in a real disrespectful tone and disrespectful manner about if I see somebody that was walking around his car. And I told him no. And then he kept on going about he said that they saw me, and then they saw another Spanish nigga with his shirt off. I was waiting for this car. I'm just waiting for them to pass so I could talk. But yeah, he said that they saw me and somebody else that was there with their shirt off. And I'm like, I told him I ain't know anything about that. I was walking around and I was wearing a white tee just like I am now. And then he just kept on going, getting rowdy. And as I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking that he wanted me to be the one that did it. Because the way that he was talking to me, them two white boys that walked by, they said the same shit that I said. Because I told them that the office, they might have cameras in there and shit like that. Because I don't know, I don't fuck with nobody around here. And the last thing I'm gonna do and some shit, dumbass shit like that, I'm a grown ass fucking man. I got too much shit worrying. I got too much shit I'm worrying about. I can barely even speak right now. But I prayed for a miracle and I got my miracle. So, what's up? What's up? So I prayed for my miracle and I got my miracle. But anyway, if he had asked me in a nicer tone or in a kinder manner and explained to me what happened, I might have told him who I saw or whatever, because I'm not 24/7 inside my room. I'm always gonna be outside my room. But if I'm walking, nigga, I'm listening to music loud as fuck. I'm wearing bright ass fucking colors. Everybody can fucking see me. Don't nobody there. You can ask everybody that live there when they see me, what time they see me, what they saw me wearing. And 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna still be wearing the same shit. So I'm glad I didn't continue going back and forth. And then I went up to my room and I went to call my father. And then he came and he was like, yo, if you see him, well, he was trying to ask me if I see him, would I be able to identify him, right? Trying to rope me in or trying to bitch me in to whatever the hell he got going on, right? That ain't got nothing to do with me. I told you I ain't see him. And he was like, if I start rising in this shit, you better act like you don't see nothing either. I was like, hey, I don't give a damn what y'all got going on. Y'all do what y'all got to do. That shit ain't got nothing to do with me. I tried asking you a question the other day. You waved me off. You ain't even want to hear what I had to. You ain't even want to hear what I had to say. So I said, cool. I ain't even look in your fucking direction ever again. I swear to God, I told y'all this. If I ever greet you, if I ever speak to you and you ignore me, you will never have to worry about me ever speaking to you ever again. I promise you, if you don't want to see me, I will make it so easy for you never to see me again. Like, I will block you. I will walk 30 minutes in the opposite direction to get where I have to go if you act like you don't want to see me, or if you make me feel like you don't want to see me, or if you make me feel like I'm bothering you. I'm not that type of person. I do not have attachment issues. If anything, I have abandonment issues. I know that nothing's gonna last forever and it's just gonna be gone, when God decides to change the weather. But the last thing that I'm gonna do, hello, the last thing that I'm gonna do is worry about being bad when all my life I've been a good person. Even getting in trouble for bad people. And I'm glad that I could wear my truth like a cape of honor. Because I don't fuck with nobody. I don't take nothing from nobody. My father, I tell you all the time, my father taught me this. Don't take nothing from nobody. Don't ask nobody for nothing. And if somebody offer you something, say no thank you. So that probably should have been my lesson. I should have never even tried to go up to him and ask him a question or nothing, because in my mind, I was holding myself back from doing that, and I just said, fuck it. I'm gonna ask him anyway. Boom. I went to go ask him, waved me off. Ain't said nothing else after that. And I'm the only other nigga here, right? Y'all talk about, oh, we gotta stick together this and stick together that. But you wouldn't even answer me. I went to ask you a simple question, respectfully as fuck. And I wish I never did that. Wish I never did that. Because that right there was like an invitation for whatever this was. Because if I had mind my business, you wouldn't have been asking me nothing. Because I wouldn't have spoke to you first. But since I spoke to you first, and you decide to wave me off like I don't fucking matter, because you got your big expensive car, right? You got your big foreign car, so you feel like you don't gotta answer, you don't gotta talk to nobody, right? So that's why I always humble myself, because at any given moment, you can't control what the fuck happened, right? You can't tell karma when she's gonna come for you. You can't tell the Most High, God, however you want to put it, when is repercussion time. It doesn't really matter what others think. If you didn't do what was accused, stand your ground on your truth. However, yeah, the future is only a concept, so don't worry about it. Yeah, I ain't worried about it. But the thing is, it kind of caught me off guard, right? Because if somebody stole something from you, or if somebody done you wrong, 10 times out of 10, that person's gonna avoid you. 10 times out of 10, that person's not gonna want to be, outside or anywhere that you are, or even have you seeing them. Because you seeing them is like them seeing, oh shit, the motherfucker see me. So they might see, or they might think, or they might have known something, right? Because I tell y'all all the time, you might not think nobody's watching. Somebody's always watching. And I seen the same dude with his shirt off that he was talking about. I seen the same dude. But it just so happened I didn't see him go into nobody else's vehicle. I kept hearing the same two noises, the same boop boop, boop boop, boop boop. Like when you hit the lock button on the car, it hits them two little beep beeps. And that's what I kept hearing. I thought it was somebody else downstairs. Because every week it's a different person in here. So I don't fucking know. You in the hood. You're not in no fucking suburbs. But they do got cameras. So you got that going for you. They do got cameras. So if anything happened, the manager is always quick to call the police. And they don't even stay far from right here. They right around the corner. You call the police, they whoop whoop right there in the 2 seconds. I remember the first time I moved in over here, they was chasing after somebody. And it was dark. And I don't be in my fucking house. Even when I was staying at my sister's house, I was outside at 2, 3 in the morning, right? So I be seeing shit that happen when darkness falls. I tell y'all, I be outside. I don't be in the house. I like being out in nature. Like right now, the sun is shining. Why the hell am I gonna be in the house? And I'm glad that everything is adjusting, so I'm able to get up early and go to bed at a proper time. And I'm not, I'm practicing semen retention like a motherfucker. I'm practicing abstinence and what's the other thing? Celibacy, like a motherfucker. I haven't had sex since 2022. Maybe 2022. And that was one time. And there was one time. And before that, it was one time. And that was after my wife. For a short time. And then I moved. But that was a complicated situation. That wasn't even supposed to happen. But that's what happens when you're a good man and you find yourself in a situation where you're being good and you're around bad people. You get caught up in a whole bunch of shit that you don't never expect to get caught up in, and then when you realize you're caught up in it, it's too late. That's why I didn't have my services be volunteered by the same person that ignored me the other day when I was trying to ask them a question. Ain't that crazy how everything come around in the United States? Oh my gosh. In the public eye, if someone wrongly accused another here, then most often they will adjust their view even with an apology. Korea, what's up from Korea? Nino, my cool, what's up? What's up? Hey, we could do a sticker. What kind of quote? What question should I ask? And the crazy thing about it, I understand in other countries, if somebody steals something from you, they get their hands cut off. This happens in the Caribbean. I'm from the Caribbean. I'm born and raised in Trinidad. And I've seen many, many, many people growing up that had amputations. And thinking about it now, my cousin almost lost his hand fighting for his wife that he's married to right now. Congratulations to them, my cousin Quasi. And you know, a lot of people definitely get their hands cut off for stealing and lying and all this other stuff. Not just for stealing, but for a lot of things. But people do get their hands cut off. And this my cool 27 was talking about how in other countries, you know, they'll adjust their view with an apology after, you know, things being settled, right? And the accused being found not guilty. But in America, with a black man, I even made this video before. I said some black people see other black people the way white people see black people. There's no sugarcoating it, nothing like that, because the same gentleman that I went up to and asked the question, you know, he brushed me off and he ain't even acknowledged that I was trying to ask him a question. And then now today, he needs my assistance, but he doesn't think that I deserve the same humility and the same humbleness that I came to him with, right? Because he thinks that since something happened to him and someone said they saw me and somebody else walking around, or he said walking by his car, that I was supposed to be on the defense. But I'm never gonna be on the defense. If anything, I'm gonna be more offensive because I tried walking up to you the other day and you wasn't trying to hear me. So today now, something happened to your car or something happened with your property and you want my assistance or you want to question me about it. And you think just because you angry, I'm gonna what? I'm gonna submit and start bowing down or what? You think you're the only grown man that has issues, that has shit going on in their life? You think somebody stole something from your car? Nigga, somebody took my grandmother. Somebody took my mother from me. All that anger ain't never got dealt with. So if you think I'm worried about fucking stealing some shit out of somebody's fucking car, when I got bigger fucking issues, you talking about you not gonna go to work because you gonna try to figure this shit out, nigga. I wish I could fucking tell people I'm not gonna go to work because I'm gonna fucking figure some shit out that I should have been responsible about miles before it happened. That's why I say work now and then play later. I told y'all the story about how my father told me, you want to get a car, but you don't got a license. You get a license, you don't got no money to buy a car, right? You're thinking about the wrong things at the wrong time. Don't look for friends. Don't chase after people. You see why it's easy for me to stand solid and stand honorable as I am by myself right now? Thankfully, my father behind me in my back, in my corner. Thankfully, I got my mother and my ancestors in my corner. Thankfully, it's so many good people that I was being naive to because I was worrying about all the shit that happened and healing and all this other stuff. But as I was healing, I never took that hate that anger, anything that I was feeling, and dished it off on anybody else. I never did that before. I never did that now. If anything, I take my grievances to God. Because fuck man. Man can't do shit. Listen. I was thinking about something while I was laying down. Yeah, but fun is better shared. Be good for you to have someone to share with. I promise you, I felt like that before, and I was crying, wishing for a friend, wishing for a companion, blah, blah, blah. And then, boom, this one girl popped up, and you know how some Scorpios do, right? They play on your top. They breadcrumb you. They try to feed you like you take them under your wing, right? And they try to act like they're the ones that put you onto yourself. But they got little bird wings. These are angel wings, right? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We started talking. I started getting, well, I don't think I was getting to know her at all. But she was asking me questions, and she was talking about certain things that I spoke about on my platform. And she didn't think that I heard when she said that she was kind of stalking me before, but I heard that. And I just let it play out for the plot. You know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm mistaken, right? But then it started to feel like I started to get all of those feelings. No, I'm Sagittarius. I had a couple bad experiences with Scorpios and Libras. So for the time being, I don't want no Scorpios or no Libras. Not so much Libras. Libras are fine, but when you know the zodiac and you know people and you understand characteristics and you understand psychology and you understand biology and you understand chemicals and chemistry, then you're able to understand what certain characteristics are within certain people, right? I'm not going to chalk it up to a whole zodiac sign, right? Because they look at the people and then they created the zodiac sign under their star, right? And those that came therefore after. But little tweaks depending on time and depending on zones or where you're from and the heat and, you know, what was going on in the atmosphere at that time, right? But my intuition kept on ringing bells back and forth. I kept seeing visions. I kept having premonitions. I kept seeing somebody getting stabbed by a crazy person. And I shouldn't have said that, but my sister's a Libra. And my perfect match is a Libra, which is funny. And that's why I was thinking about this yesterday too. I was thinking that's probably why my sister is a Libra, and the relationship that me and her had, it was never the relationship that you would say, oh, that's a good brother and sister relationship. Exactly, and the rising signs, exactly, right? But my sister, she's not a fighter. So when you're not a fighter, you're more likely a pacifist. And when you're a pacifist, you're one of those nice people that allow bad things and bad people to do whatever, and then you just go move out of the way, right? You just keep your children away from them, right? You just say, oh, that's just how they are, and blah, 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 blah. You put more rules on top of yourself, on top of the laws that's already there, just so you don't get in trouble. And not so you don't get in trouble, but just so you don't get hurt or just so you don't get harmed or this or that or whatever, right? But I had a thought yesterday, and I was thinking about me as a warrior, and and this is about your gifts, and this is about your tools, and this is about your abilities, right? When the warrior goes into the garden, warriors sometimes forget that they're a warrior. So you're gonna put down your shield, you're gonna put down your sword, you're gonna put down all your tools, your defensive tools, you're gonna put all that down. And then you're gonna start playing with the roses, you're gonna start playing in the garden, playing with the children, playing with the this, playing with the that. Somebody's watching you put your tools down. This is your gifts. This is when you don't use your gifts that you have. When you put your tools down and you're in the garden, forgetting that you're a warrior in the garden, you start thinking that you're a gardener, right? And now some time have passed. You forgot that you were a warrior, and now you're looking around and you're seeing essence of yourself. You're seeing this and you're seeing that, and you're like, hold on. This all this stuff come from my influence. All this stuff come from my gifts. All this stuff come from my tools. How the hell did this happen? And then you start remembering a life that you had before you was in that garden, right? A life that you had before you put your tools down. A life that you had before you let your guard down around people that you were supposed to be communing with, right? You're supposed to be in a community. You're supposed to be in a garden. But there are serpents and there are snakes in the garden. There are parasites that appear in the garden, right? And they end up picking up your tools. They end up picking up your stuff, but they can't wield it. Just like the ring of power, it corrupts them until it finds its way back to you. That's why you have all those memories, right? That's why whenever Frodo put the ring on, the eye was able to see him. So whenever they're using your stuff, you're having all these visions. You're having all of these premonitions. You're having all of these dreams, right? And when you start to have so much dreams and so much premonitions and so much visions, you start remembering, hold on, I'm not a fucking gardener. I'm a warrior. And all of that is my shit. It's not hard to get your things back when you realize who you are. But it's easy sometimes to forget that you are a warrior in the Garden of Eden. Because it's so much propaganda. It's so much negativity and victim blaming. Words of wisdom is courting, make it friendly for all else. Not for too much for us. I'm not looking for any type of courtship at the moment. I'm focused on stabilizing my finances and keeping them that way. I'm focused on getting my work visa. I'm focused on staying away from people and staying out of people's business. I'm focusing on living my life in a minimalistic way to where, like I said the other day, I was going to ask that brother a question and he waved me off. That was my angels protecting me. That was the rejection. That's protection, right? Because when you become cordial with people, it gives them an incentive that they have access to your person, that they have access to your heart. But just because an angel like Lucifer, the show, his daughter, she's beautiful, but when she saw her father was getting hurt, you saw her demon face. So just because somebody has a kind side doesn't mean that they don't have an equal opposite destructive side that they had to spend years to tame. Without help, without therapy, without going to these outside sources, but having to deal with not acting, having to deal with not responding, having to deal with not reacting, having to deal with going inside and going internal and this and that. Trust me, I had many a times where I wanted to tear somebody's head off and I had to call my father and calm myself down. And it didn't even calm me down. What ended up happening was he told me, go ahead and do it and see what happened afterwards. You're going to go and you're going to do it, and then you're going to go and you're going to get locked up in this, that, and the third. So it's like, yeah, you want to defend yourself. You want to stand up for yourself, but it doesn't mean that you have to raise a hand, right? You can say no, right? You can not put yourself in situations where people can think that they can do things to you, right? You can say no the first time. So that way they know, all right, next time I'm not even going to ask. You say no once, they're never going to ask again. You say yes once, they're always going to ask until you say no. So until you say no, they're going to keep asking. But I got to get off here, y'all. I got some stuff to handle. I appreciate y'all. If y'all do enjoy what I was talking about, leave me a like. If y'all want to join the evening stars, the new earth, the new renaissance, and be tuned into all the things that's happening. Like I told y'all before, right? They're gonna start doing things in our face, and we're not gonna be able to do anything about it. The files came out, and I said they're gonna start have things are gonna start happening where it looks like somebody's playing a practical joke, and they're tying their shoes together, and they're playing a practical joke on them. And look at what's happening in the economy right now, and with the conflict in states. And then I told y'all next year is going to be a lot of quote unquote gang violence. Peace and happiness unto you too. Infinite. Thank you. Salute you. It's going to look like gang violence. It's going to, because of all the things that they're doing right now, especially with the hemp ban in Texas, it's like a precursor, right? So the ban happened now, but it's not gonna have an effect until people start having those withdrawals. And when they start having withdrawals is when they don't get the same thing that they got from the medical CBD that they're gonna get from the street, that they're gonna get from going to the alcohol stores, right? But I even said, if Jay Prince came out and spoke a couple words, the liquor industry and the CBD industry could come together, and then boom, you can start selling alcohol in the CBD stores. It's big enough where you can have a couple fridges with Coors Light, Budweiser, all the American beer, and all the American liquor, and then you can start charging a cap on the imported liquor, right? Like Corona, right? Like Dos Equis, right? Like all the other stuff that everybody else like. Bless you too, right? Come and live in South Australia. Australia is the place where they have insects the size of me. I'm only 5'10". Australia will eat me alive, but I would love to see the entire. Before I leave this earth, I want to see the entirety of the earth, not just on pictures, but I would love to see pictures so I can see where I want to go. But I would love to see the entirety of the earth and place my hand and my feet on Mother. And you know, crazy thing too, you just reminded me of something. All that dragon talk that I was talking, I forgot that Mother Earth and the heavens were made. Well, Mother Earth is a dragon. I'll tell you that right now. Tiamat is a dragon. Mother Earth, you're laying and living on a dragon. And that amazed me that I had forgot that I seen that on Spirit Science years ago. And all this dragon talk I'm talking about now, and the dragon burning away all the old and refining the earth into a new earth. And the only way that you can actually, burn away lies and keep the foundation and keep the truth is with dragon flames, because dragon flames is not just destructive. Dragon flames is magic. Hey. Yep. Dreamtime is how all this stuff came here. Yeah, you're about to open up another can of worms, but I gotta go. I'm gonna talk about this later. I love y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all made my day. I'm glad I came on live and, decided to talk about this whole stuff, because I would have been in my head, going back and forth, getting angry with myself. And I really do love y'all. I might come back on later. Give me maybe noon. I am readjusting to the new, we just had an eclipse, and then everybody saw the eclipse but me. I came outside with my shades on, I ran my laps. I forgot that it was an eclipse, and I saw on CNN that they looking at the eclipse, and I looked up to the sky, and all I saw was some bright sunlight. I didn't see no eclipse. The last eclipse, though, I think it was a few years ago, I did get to see that. That was what, the partial eclipse or something like that. I did get to see that with my nephews, and I do, man, I miss my nephews, yo. I was listening to some stuff yesterday about back to school, just thinking about my nephews going back to school. All the children that's going back to school, listen, it's your time. It's all of our time, but this time, we're not gonna allow you to go into the fray like we had to alone. We're walking with you, hand in hand, foot in foot, shield and sword. It's not going to be like yesterday where WW1 started and WW2 started and we got away from consciousness. No, we're not getting away from consciousness ever again. And if I continue to breathe and as I have breath, the truth will continue to be spoken into the atmosphere. The winds of change will be blown by my voice. The breath in my lungs will be speaking the truth to all children of all creeds and all races. Because unity is what they fear. Unity is their death, so they fear it. We are unity, so we are death. So now we have to live. Fear keeps you from living. Death forces you to live, like an adrenaline rush. Salute you, my evening stars. Welcome to the evening of your destiny.